Hey everyone! Today I've got a really simple story for you, but don't let that fool you. It's from a small village in India, and it's all about this one young boy. But it holds this huge idea that might just change the way you think about your own actions. It's a question we all ask ourselves at some point, right? Do the things we do really matter in the grand scheme of things? Well, this story about a boy named Arjun, it might just have the answer. All right, so let's dive in and meet our main character. We're in a small Indian village, and there's this young boy named Arjun. And, well, let's just say at the beginning of our story, Arjun isn't exactly winning any awards for good behavior. Yeah, Arjun was kind of famous for his mischief. We're talking pranks on his friends, cheating in games just to win, and he really didn't show much respect for anyone. His parents, his teachers, you name it. His behavior was a real worry for everyone who cared about him. But then, on what seemed like a totally normal day, something happened. Something that would totally change his path forever. He saw something that stopped him dead in his tracks and sparked a feeling he'd never, ever felt before. So picture this. Arjun's just walking home from school, and he sees this beggar sitting by the side of the road. And this man looked so incredibly weak and hungry. And bam! For the first time, this wave of guilt just hits Arjun. He realized he had never once even thought about helping someone in need. And when the story says the beggar was frail, what does that really mean? It just means he was super weak, delicate, maybe from being sick or just old. Understanding that really helps you see why this was such a big deal for Arjun. Okay, so this is the turning point. This is where Arjun's story really takes off. That single moment of guilt, it started a complete transformation. And he didn't just think about being a better person. Nope, he actually started acting like one. And it wasn't an overnight thing, It happened step by step. He started helping his parents with chores around the house. He actually stopped cheating in games. He started treating people with respect. And most importantly, he went back to that same beggar and gave him some food and water. The beggar, as you can imagine, was so grateful. He looks at Arjun and says something kind of mysterious, right? He says, "Your kindness will not go unrewarded." Now, Arjun was a little confused by that, but he didn't really think too much about it. He just kept on doing good things for people, not expecting anything back at all. So weeks go by. Arjun sticks with it. He keeps on this new path of kindness. He's a totally different kid. And then a day comes along that nobody, and I mean nobody, especially not Arjun, could have ever seen coming. Suddenly, there's this huge commotion in the village square. What's going on? A royal procession is passing through. Everybody runs to see the king's chariot. Arjun, of course, joins the crowd, super curious to see what all the excitement is about. Okay, so the chariot gets closer. Arjun looks up, and he sees someone sitting right there next to the king himself. Who do you think it was? No way. It was the beggar. The exact same man Arjun had helped. But now, he's dressed in these fancy royal clothes. Arjun was just floored. He couldn't believe it. He walks up to the man and is like, "How is this even possible?" The man just smiles and explains the whole thing. Turns out, the king had noticed all of Arjun's selfless, kind acts and wanted to reward him. And then he says the magic words. "Your good deeds," he says, "your karma has brought you this unexpected reward." And with that one word, karma, it was like a light bulb went on for Arjun. Everything just clicked into place. He finally got it. He understood this powerful lesson that had been playing out in his own life.
The idea that what we plant is what we eventually grow.
So let's break that down. What exactly is karma? Really, it's a simple but super profound idea that our actions, whether they're good or bad, they have consequences that shape our future. Good actions lead to good things. Bad actions, well, they lead to bad things. It's like planting seeds, right? What you sow is what you're going to reap. And Arjun's journey, it shows this perfectly. Just look at the before and after. He starts out as this mischievous, selfish kid, always causing trouble, never thinking about anyone else. But by the end, he's kind and compassionate. And those actions, they brought blessings right back into his own life, all because he finally understood that every single choice matters. So, what's the big moral of the story here? What's the one thing to remember from all this? It's really simple. Our actions, whether they're big or small, they always have consequences. They're like ripples in a pond, and eventually those ripples come back to us. And that kind of leaves us with one final question, doesn't it? If our actions are the things that really shape our future, well, then all the power is right in our hands. So the real question isn't about Arjun anymore. It's about you. What kind of karma are you going to create today?